welcome to Over 50 So What? Yes, I'm having a bad hair day, and that's because it's 5 months since I've had a haircut and I'm just hanging like a lot of you. When are we going to get back to the hairdresser? Now, last week we had Dr. Michael Alstein telling us doesn't matter what your age, you can strengthen your immune system with a plant-based diet, exercise, meditation, balancing your hormones, sunshine, and some good sleep. It was interesting, wasn't it, that you can actually go and get your immune system tested just to find out how you're traveling. Well, have you thought about what legacy you want to leave, what you want to be remembered for? Because today, Mindful Michele is going to take us through a 5-step process to help us work it all out. Get on your feet after the break, join in the fitness routine, you're going to feel better. Remember, you've got to use energy to gain energy. And then finally today, we have an expert, Colleen Wilson-Lord, on grandparenting skills. So we're going to look at some really important considerations when you become a grandparent. Today our guest is Michele Gennoe. Michele is the creator of Mindful Moments with Michele, workshops and videos, and she's the award-winning author of Mindful Leadership. Michele has spent over 20 years researching and working in the field of human behavioural dynamics. She has a master's in spiritual science. She is a qualified transformational coach and facilitator. Now today we're going to be talking about your legacy. What is it that you want to be remembered for? Michele has an easy 5-step process to help clarify what your legacy is. Hi Michele, welcome to Over 50 So What?
Thank you for having me today, Carol. It's fantastic to be here.
Now I'm very excited to hear all about you today and about what your whole field of expertise is around mindfulness. We've discussed mindfulness, quite a bit on the show and how beneficial it is for stress and maybe helping you to sleep. So as an expert, Mindful Michele, would you like to share with us, your thoughts on mindfulness?
Carol, well, I think more than ever, it's really important to practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness, for those that may have forgotten, is about being present in each and every moment. That means being present to your feelings, your thoughts, and your emotions. Now, why it helps you so much is it can lower stress and it can help you to be prepared for what's going on in your life in a better way. Now, this helps you to plan more, to relax more, and to also use your energy in a much more effective way.
Yes, excellent stuff. Now, there's a lot of people stuck at home. They can't go anywhere. They've got all this time on their hands. They probably think, what is my life all about? What have I contributed to the world? What am I doing here? What do I want to be remembered for? What is my legacy? And you have a fantastic 5-step process that helps everyone to answer those questions, those very important questions. So please take it away.
Carol, yes, you're exactly right. When people have a shock in their life, whether it's a divorce or the death of a close loved one, they tend to then start to think about their legacy. What has my life meant? What has my being here and my existence meant? And for many, this can be represented in family and some big achievements. But for most, even that may leave them with a little bit of a feeling around, well, what else is my legacy? What can I kind of hang my hat on and feel really great about when I leave? So I have a 5-step framework that I walk people through when we're reviewing their life and their legacy. And what it does is, by preparing now for what you want to think about as your legacy, it helps you to then take those minor actions or those bigger actions now so that you can actually build more on what you feel your legacy you want it to be. So the first step is to actually work out a time and a place. Now, with so much going on and so much uncertainty in our lives, picking at a time and a place where you know you're not going to be interrupted and you can actually choose to sit back and relax and actually just focus on this one task where you don't have every distractions of friends or family or colleagues, so that you can just spend that time and be in that quiet place. So once you've then, in step one, decided when you're going to do it, the next thing is to think about the 3 areas that you're going to cover and, in a sense, mentally prepare yourself for it. So step 2 is looking at the 3 sections of your legacy, which is about people, places, and things. Thinking about the people that you've had the most impact on, that have had the most impact on you. Places, where is it that you've been, that you have wonderful memories? You know, was it when your child was born, when you were married, when you were divorced even? You know, what place was associated with that? And things or events. You know, for some people it may be that when they graduated and later in life from university or from some significant event, that thing or that event is something that was really important to them. And then in step 4, it's about writing all of that down. So you've picked the time and place, you've worked out the 3 sections and had some time to think about it. You've then worked out where that quiet space is going to be, and you've prepared it. So you've put out the candles, you've put out the different items that you'll need. So you'll need something to write, maybe some plants if you want to do it in the garden or in a park. So creating that quiet space around you is step 3. And then step 4 is you've got the time, you know what you need to set up your space, and you've got your 3 sections. So it's now just doing it. Sitting down and writing out your legacy. And then reviewing it. Watching as you go through it, well, what is it about those people? What is it about those places? And what is it about those things or events? Notice, again, with the mindfulness element, what thoughts come up, what emotions come up, and what feelings come up. And then step 5 is about next steps. So once you've done this exercise, step 5 brings it together and looks at, well, what next steps do I want to take? To really hone in on what's important to you and what you want to be remembered by. So what is it that you want to show your children or the world or your colleagues or your community? What is it that you'd like to have people think of you and remember you with?
Michele, that's fantastic. I think I heard a little pussycat meow just then.
Talk about being present and very mindful. I'm fostering this cat who wants to be part of the show as well.
Well, a lot of people watching this can definitely relate to animals wanting to be involved. I mean, maybe part of your legacy is you want to help adopt a cat and help, animal welfare or something like that. That could be part of your legacy too.
Very much. I mean, this doesn't need to be a really big thing. And yeah, the cat that I have at the moment is my first time fostering a cat. He's also something that I recognise that in my small way, again, I'm saving something. So I'm leaving a bit of a legacy for this little beautiful soul. For example, Carol, where when we're talking legacy and reviewing yours, you don't need to think, oh, okay, I changed the world, I saved the world, cured world poverty or AIDS or whatever. It can be as simple as saving a soul of a beautiful little pussycat.
Yes, that's right. That every little thing makes a difference in the world.
That's where the mindfulness can really help. So when people are sitting there and thinking about, well, where do I like to serve? And service is a great starting point for thinking about your legacy. Is it serving by helping your kids with some extra babysitting or a little bit of extra money if they're struggling? Or is it not giving them money because, they need to learn to manage money better sometimes? But it can still be supporting them with time.
Well, thank you very much for that. I know people would have been struggling to write down all those tips and everything. So I know you've put together a fabulous little sheet with it all laid out. So we will make that available to anyone who wants to contact us to go through that process and help them to get clarity around this whole thing about what do you want to be remembered for. Thanks again, Michele. Thank you so much for that. And congratulations on looking after the little pussycat as well.
Thank you, Carol. And to all your viewers, people don't wait until you actually have a significant event in your life and start to think then about, what has my life been about? try to think now about, well, what do I want to be remembered by?
Now, I hope that's been useful to some of you out there who are wondering, what is it you want to be remembered for? If you'd like to know more about Mindful Michele, and if you'd like that 5-step legacy process, just drop us a note through the website or through Facebook and we'll send out the 5-step process. So what is it that you want to be remembered for? And when you're relaxed, you can pop your arms in. And tap, tap. If you haven't got up yet, you can tap where you are. And tap. Now we're going to walk forward. And tap, 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 tap. Walk back. And tap, tap. And forward. And tap. And back. Remember, the bigger you are, the more you can take your knees up. And tap. And back. And tap. Now, hold it there. We're going to make a lunge together. Lunge together. You can take a small one like this till you get better, and then bigger. Other side. Now, push off. Now you can make sure the knees are over the toes. Other side. Last one. Other side. One more. And walk it out. Now we're just going to tap to the side. We're going to tap to the side. And we go. Tap, 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 tap. And with the arms, when you're relaxed, tap side, tap. That's it. Looking good. Tap. Now, walk forward. And we're going to tap to the side. And back. And tap. living life. Becoming a grandparent can be one of the most important things in your life. Suddenly, the children you've produced are now having children of their own. Becoming a grandparent creates a whole new dimension in your life. The question is, are you ready to become a grandparent? And what things do you need to consider before taking on this new role? Well, today we have with us Colleen Wilson-Lord OAM, and she's got more than 40 years experience in health promotion, including lifestyle vacations, LifeBall, pole walking, Aquafitness, gentle fitness, and more than 10 years experience in conducting grandparenting courses. Hi Colleen, welcome to Over 50 So What?
Hi Carol, very happy to be here with you. Fantastic.
Now, being a grandparent can be an exciting time. It can be a bit challenging. And there's a lot of things for you to think about before you actually become a grandparent for the first time. But to give us a bit of a framework, how is parenting today different from when our generation were first-time parents?
Well, first of all, most parents today, both male and female, whatever, are very busy people, and therefore they have opportunities to put the children into daycare. They may still be working right up till the birth of the child. Both parents, one parent, it might be the male, may decide to be the one that's going to stay at home. So that's very different. And they have a lot more commitments to outside interests and work. And of course, things have changed. So now there's the different ways of communicating with children. And I think that's a big thing as well. And different ways of parenting. And I think as a new grandparent, you have to get yourself up to date with all of that. Even though it's wonderful and it's exciting and it's something you've been waiting for probably. But I think that it is different from when we were basically bringing up children.
So you've got to accept the fact that things are going to be different. And one of the other things you have to accept is you have a new identity. You know, suddenly you're confronted that you're going to be a grandparent, and some people have a few challenges with this. So what would you say to those people?
We do have a few challenges, and I think we were talking about it before, is that some people feel quite challenged that they're going to feel old. They're going to be made feel old. They're now going to be grandma, grandpa, nana, a pop, which could give that feeling of, I'm only 45 or something. I don't want to feel like a grandpa, grandma, whatever. And so you have to look at your whole identity and decide, look, it's got nothing to do with what you're called. You might decide to be called something quite different. You might just be called Betty, Bill, whatever. Or you might be quite happy to be called grandma, grandpa, or perhaps come up with a new name altogether. Something, like I never called my grandmother grandma. She was always called Gaga. She was just Gaga. Hi, Gaga. And so that's what I mean. That was non-threatening to my grandmother, who was quite aristocratic and probably didn't want to be called grandma anyway.
Now, the other big thing that comes up is time, because how much time are you going to spend with your grandchild? You might be doing volunteer work, you might work in full-time, part-time, you've got all these things going on in your life. How much time is a grandchild going to take up, or how much time are you going to let it take up?
I think this is a very big question, and I think a lot of grandparents get on the bandwagon of giving a lot of their time, which is wonderful. It's fantastic. I think they need to look at that. But if you are still working, and you may have a very limited period of time that you can actually focus on your grandchildren or grandchild. So sit down and look at exactly how much time you've got. So come up with a timetable that you could give to your daughter, son, or whoever, and say, look, this is when I am available, but be very careful that you don't overextend yourself, because in the beginning, you're talking about a baby, and a baby can go to sleep, get fed, put down, and you have a few minutes rest. But once they get to a toddler, that is a totally different ball game. So once that toddler's running around and you're chasing around after it and you're trying to keep the house safe and all the rest of it, your energy levels are going to be really push to the limits, because you've got your interests that you've got. So it's important that you sit down and think, how much time have I really got? And explain to your son and daughter-in-law, or whatever it is, or the parent, this is what I can do for you. I think I want to trial it out. In the beginning, you might overextend yourself because, as I say, you've got a baby. But once that baby becomes a toddler, you need to go back to the drawing board.
So how do you support your children in how's the best way to support your children in becoming parents for the first time?
I'm talking to my girlfriend about 10 minutes ago. She said the most important thing is communication, to talk to them, have a chat to them, ask them what they think they will be wanting from you as a grandparent. What are your expectations of me? And having a really good healthy, clean, face-to-face discussion about that. Because for all we know, they might turn around and say, well, look, actually, we only want you to come every now and again. And that might be quite difficult for you. You might think, oh, but I want to be here every day. We have opinions about how to bring children up. But I think as a new grandparent, or as a grandparent, you just need to keep some of your opinions to yourself, and perhaps wait until the right time to be able to give some advice. So be careful about how you give advice and when you give advice.
And what about this concept of setting boundaries with new parents?
Boundaries, exactly. Well, I think you've only got to look, and I look at my friends and I see sometimes that they've overextended themselves. They are now being asked to come and babysit at all hours of the day and night, drop the grandchildren in when you may have other things on that day. You do have to set the boundaries. I've had a friend the other day who said to me, I just have to say, I'm sorry. I can't take Mary on a Monday. I can only take Mary on a Friday, or whatever. And I think that's going to help you and help the grandparent feel as if they're not out of control. And so many grandparents have said, there's no time for me anymore. I'm too busy looking after the grandchildren. As much as you love them and love it, it's overextended now into my normal life, and there's no time for me anymore. And that may also then infringe onto your partner, whoever you're living with. He will be, or she may feel then there's no time for us. So be very careful not to overextend yourself and be used, and parents don't do that deliberately, but they get to the point where, oh, thank goodness mum's going to be around today. Here, let's dump the children off. That's a good idea. So just be careful. Be very careful. Great to be a grandparent, but it also can be very challenging. So I think that's really important to remember.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Colleen, for your time today, and thanks for all those years and years of expertise. And I do hope you come again on the show, because we'll pick your brains on a few other topics as well. Thanks for joining us on the show. I hope you joined in the fitness segment and you're feeling better. Now, one of the best legacies that you can leave, of course, is being a great grandparent. So if you jump on Facebook, we'll post that sheet for you to help you work out your legacy. And if you want to know more about any of the guests on the show, then just jump on our website, because we have full details about guests on our website. And of course, all fitness routines, all fitness videos, replays are on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have some fun, and let's go to the hairdresser. Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe, and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?